Mindful Life Practice community.
All right, so let's come into our child's pose and sit your hips back on your heels. Actually, something interesting about yoga live today in the park was that a few of my guy friends came from, they used to come to my yoga classes at the gym pre-pandemic. And anyway, they just kept shouting out or making jokes in a funny way. Like, it was great, but I'm just so used to having no feedback. It was strange. Maybe we all just need to learn how to adapt. It's almost like culture shock, I guess. Culture shock would be a good way to describe it. Right, we're into our Zoom culture, and it's going to be a shock to return to our other culture. Can you take some deep breaths in your child's pose? Arrive in this shape and arrive in your breath and arrive in your body. And arrive in this moment. Accepting that this moment is all that there is. And if your brain is wandering to before or after this moment, can you just coax it back to the here and now? Inhaling here. Exhaling now. Inhaling here. Exhaling now. If you have an intention for your practice, establish it now. This week I have been going along the theme of support. In what ways are we supported by ourselves and by the people around us? In what ways do we support others? So maybe your intention, quite simply, is I am supported. Can you walk your hands over towards the right, stretching through the left side body? And then take your hands all the way back through center and then walk them over to the left, stretching through the right side body. And then take your hands all the way back through center. And then just come up to a table. And then let's move through some cat-cows. And then come all the way through center. Leave your left palm where it is. Reach your right arm all the way up. Nice. And then let's just thread our right arm underneath our left shoulder, land onto our cheek. And then maybe lift your arm up and hook it all the way around near the hip. Twisting through the shoulder, stretching through the shoulder. And then come all the way back around with the hands. And then we'll take it the opposite way. So leave your right palm, lift your left arm all the way up, thread your left arm under, land onto the left shoulder, the left cheek, and then you can lift the right arm around and hook it near the hip. And then slowly unwind, planting through the palms. Good, and then let's just extend your right leg, and then you're just going to rock forward and back, getting into the calf. Good, nice. And then let's come all the way into a neutral, and then just lift your right leg up and lift your left arm up. Have your ribs knitted in, take a breath in, and then tap your elbow to meet your knee, and we'll just flow through that 3 more times. Good, 2 more. Last one. Good, extend your arm and extend your leg, and then land your left palm on the mat. Take your left toes off the side of the mat. Breathe your right arm up towards the sky. And then if you want to, you might come into a bit of a back bend. You're gonna kick your foot back, grab hold of your right ankle with your right hand. Just open up through the spine. Good, release your right foot, release your right hand. Land your right foot on the mat. Land your right palm onto your right shin. Lift your left arm behind you over towards the right. And then let's just unwind the arms, come all the way back. Plant through the palms, and then just take a couple of cat-cows here. Nice, and then come all the way into neutral, and we'll take it the opposite way. So extend your left leg behind you, and then just rock forward and back, getting into the calf. Nice. And then eventually you're gonna come into stillness, and then just lift your left leg behind you, lift your right arm in front of you, have your knitted ribs in, your ribs knitted in, so that you are engaging through your core. And then just tap your elbow to your knee, and know that if you wobble or you fall, it's okay. I think we learn a lot more in life when we fall than when we succeed. Maybe just do 1 more. And then extend your arm, extend your leg, land your right palm on the mat. Just take your right toes off the side of the mat, scoop your left arm skyward, and then maybe you connect the palm to the foot and then just open up through your back body. How does that feel? And then can you just release your left palm, release your left foot, land at your left foot, lift up, and then reverse your warrior. So your left palm is on your left leg, scoop your right arm behind you, take some breaths. And then can you come all the way around, planting through both palms, do a few cat-cows. Nice. And then just bring your spine into neutral. You're gonna tuck your toes, lift the hips all the way up and back. And for some of you, this might be the first down dog of the day, maybe not. Just clock in how it feels. You know, I think I've just picked up on why I like Zoom yoga more than real life yoga. And this is gonna sound really, really selfish. Is that when I'm doing Zoom yoga, I get to do the whole practice with you guys because I'm demoing it. But when I'm in person, I'm more walking around. So it's less of a yoga flow.
and involves me more walking around. So I just don't walk away with it with the same like groundedness and lightness and lift. I don't know if I should be telling you guys that. I'm not sure. But I'm grateful to be practicing with you as well.
Let's walk our hands back to meet our feet. So come all the way to the back of your mat. And then I want you to step your toe mounds together, bend through the knees, lift your arms up so you come into your uncomfortable chair. Take a gaze down at your feet. I want your toes to be in front of your knees. And if you can't see your toes, I want you to slide your knees back in space. And then there is this tendency to lean forward to make this look a little deeper. I want you to lengthen and live through your heart. And know that if you're uncomfortable, that this will not last forever. Nothing in life lasts forever, even the good stuff. Every single thing passes. So get comfortable with the impermanence and just use whatever tools you can to stay with this moment and whatever comes with it. Take one more breath. And then press through your feet, lift your arms up. Gather your palms at heart center, connect your thumbs to your heartbeat. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Just mindfully step one foot and then the next all the way to the front of your mat. Nice, and then eventually you're gonna land at the front of your mat and then just drop your hands alongside your hips. Oh my gosh, my head is cropped out. Sorry for that. That should be better. Okay, hands alongside the hips. You're just gonna flop back and forth. You're going to imagine that you are a 6-year-old kid and you're just moving the way your mood moves you because you're a kid. And then just rock back and forth for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then on 1, drop into complete stillness. Visualize that you are this glass of water with sand and it's been stirred up and stirred up and stirred up and stirred up. And then as the sand begins to settle, the water begins to clear. Sand settles, water clears. With your feet together, take an inhale, arms up towards the sky. Exhale into a fold. Breathe your halfway lift. Nice. Exhale, lower your palms. You're gonna step your feet back, staying strong in a plank for 5. Good. For 4. Nice. For 3. For 2. And then on 1, take your body through a vinyasa flow, lowering, lifting at your heart. Nice. Eventually coming all the way up and back to a down dog. Leave your left foot where it is. Lift your right leg up towards the sky and then bend through the right knee and then circle through the hip. And then maybe you circle the knee in the opposite direction. And then eventually extend your right leg all the way up behind you. Draw your right knee in, step your right foot between your palm. And then just rock forward and back, saying good morning to your hips, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what continent you are currently on. And then land onto your left knee, untuck your toes. Let's lift our arms up. So we're gonna get a little bit of shoulder love in. You're gonna open your arms into cactus arms, and then weave your right arm underneath the left. Then maybe high five the hands together. If you can't quite high five the hands, you can also grip opposite shoulders. That is a great variation. But I think most of us in here have been doing yoga for a while. And then let's unwind the arms and lift your arms up and then reach your arms forward. Leaving your left palm where it is, spiral your right arm open, opening your heart towards the side of your yoga mat. And then reach your left arm on the inside of the right foot. Nice. And then either stay here, land your right palm on your sacrum, or maybe kick the foot back and take it into a quad stretch. Just take a few more breaths. Can you release the foot? Take the palm forward. Walk your fingertips back, lengthen over the leg, and then just hinge into this. Good, take one more breath. And then walk your hands forward. Tuck your left toes and lift your left knee. Let's take our right arm all the way up. And then we're gonna roll into a side plank, stepping your right foot all the way back. Good, and then either stay in the side plank or take your right toes behind you and lift your heart. This is your wild thing. Let's take one more breath. And then we're gonna come onto our left bottom and then just bring our right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale your arms up and then reach your arms forward, hinging over the left leg. And can you just breathe into this moment and hinge into this moment? Just give it one more round of breath. And then lift all the way up. Step your right foot down again. Let's press through the left palm. Come all the way back through your side plank and into a full plank. Holding your full plank. Good, you got it for 3. Good for 2. And then on 1, lower down. Lift your heart, you got it. Shifting all the way up and back to your down dog. And we're gonna journey through this series on the opposite side. Take your left leg up, circle through the knee. Circle the knee the opposite way. Extend your left leg up towards the sky. And then pull your left knee in, step your left foot between your palms. Good, rock forward and back. Nice, and then land onto your right knee. Lift your arms up. Open your arms into cactus arms. Can you draw your right arm underneath your left? Good, give it one more breath. And then unwind your arms, lift them up, and then reach your arms forward. You're gonna leave your right palm where it is and spiral your left arm open up towards the knee, and then reach your right arm forward. Plant your right palm on the inside of your left leg. And then maybe you kick the foot back, going into a quad stretch. Nice. Did we do a half Hanumanasana on this side? Do you guys remember? A half splits? Anyone remember? Yeah, we did. Yeah. Oh, we have mixed reviews. Wendy says no. Siobhan says yes. It's okay. I don't know either. Okay, let's release the foot. Even if we didn't do it, let's do it anyway because it feels good. So take your left palm forward and then walk your fingertips back, lengthen over the leg. Hanuman Asana, named after the monkey Hanuman. Sita was abducted from Ram. This is a story from yogic mythology. And Hanuman jumped from Sri Lanka to India, from India to Sri Lanka. Oh my God, I'm getting everything wrong. And he landed in the splits. This was a monkey with superpowers. And that is what this yoga pose is named after. And I love it because it's all about loyalty and devotion and humility and like believing in your potential. And this pose just feels good. I'm going to study up on that story so that I get it all correct next time I tell it to you. Take one more breath and then walk your hands forward. Plant your right palm, tuck your right toes and lift your right knee, and then lift your left arm up. You're all the way in this side twisted lunge thing. Roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. Step your left foot all the way back, coming into a side plank, and then tap your left toes behind you so that you open this now into a wild thing. And then can you just land down on your right butt and then take your left foot to the inside of the right thigh and then lift your arms up and then reach forward. Just stay there for 3, for 2, and then on 1, can you roll all the way back, plant your left foot, plant your right palm, lift up, back through your back bend, and then all the way into your plank. Nice. And then from your plank, we're gonna land the knees and we're gonna slowly lower all the way onto the mat. So we're gonna do 3 back bends. It's kind of a gentle-ish Vin today, but that's okay. Take your palms alongside your hips, lift your arms up, lift your legs in, lift your legs up as well. Holding into this superhero pose for 5, 4, good, 3, 2, and then 1 to lower and land a cheek. For the next variation, you're going to interlace your palms and then lift your body up. Nice. Staying here for 5. And this, if this doesn't suit your shoulders, feel free to just release it. 4, 3, 2, and then 1 to lower and land a cheek. And then kick your heels in towards your bottom. If you want to, you might grab hold of your ankles and then just lift up into an upward bow. And again, you can take any of the other back bend variations. Don't feel like you're obligated to be committed to this one. Nice. Just giving it 5, 4, 3, 2, good. And then 1 to lower. And then once you lower, can you windshield wipe your feet from side to side? Land your feet back on the mat. And then let's push the palms underneath the shoulders, lift all the way up through a table, and then back to a down dog. And then you're gonna bend through your knees, gaze forward, and just step your feet up to meet your hands. Good, taking an in-breath to half lift, an exhale to fold, and then an inhale to lift your arms all the way up, and then take your palms into your heart center. So I'm gonna let you guys choose now your favorite balancing pose. So you could do dancers, you could do warrior 3, you could do half moon, you could do tree. Just pick, and it doesn't even have to be your favorite. It just is like what you feel like right now. And I'm going to offer just a simple tree pose. If anyone wants to join me in tree, give yourself 10 breaths on each side. So I'm going to stay anchored through my left foot, draw the right foot onto the inside of the ankle or the shin or the thigh, and then push the palms into heart center. If you are joining me in tree, the one thing I advise is to not push your foot onto the inside of the knee. That's just the direction that the knee is not meant to take. Just taking one more inhale, one more exhale. And then we're gonna switch, so we're gonna land our right foot and then take our left foot somewhere onto the inside of the right leg, unless you're doing any other kind of balancing pose. I did give you guys free choice. Give yourself 10 breaths on whatever pose you're in, whatever side you're on. And just give it for 3, for 2, and then on 1, you're just gonna land your foot. Take an inhale to lift your arms up towards the sky. Take an exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower, make your way to a down dog. If you want to take one last vinyasa, go for it. And then we'll come into our first yin pose, which is going to be child's pose. So we're going to come onto our knees, take our knees wide, toes together. If you want to support yourself with a pillow, feel free. And then just walk your body forward and kind of snuggle over this pillow. Nice. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes, and it's going to mark our transition from movement to stillness and from effort to ease. This theme I've been working in my yoga practice right now is about Vishnu. And so there's 3 figures in yogic mythology that are this trinity. There's Brahmakarya, who is the oh my God, as I'm talking, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get this wrong. I think it's Krishna that's the creator, not Brahmakarya. Krishna is the creator. And Vishnu is the supporter. And Shiva is the destroyer. But all that's important is Vishnu, because that's the theme of our class today. Sustenance and support. And his spirit is said to permeate and pervade all beings. Keep the wheels of life spinning smoothly. and his responsibility, it's extended out into our world as the many people that care and sustain us. It's also a reminder that we sometimes have to support and care for others and ourselves as well. So in this shape, you are supported. You're supported by your pillow or the earth. What other supports have allowed you to be here today? Whether it's the ability to take time in your schedule, or a partner or a housemate making space and respecting your silence. Carving time out of your day. What things have supported you to be here? Let's take another breath in this child's pose. And then we're going to come all the way up, just roll up to seated. And I'm going to go by the request of the hips, and we're going to get into a deep pigeon. So we're going to come all the way up to table. And Matt, if you're watching this on the archives, you have manifested this pigeon. If you want to tuck your way up into not a child's pose, a down dog, go ahead. And then you're just going to pull your right knee in and lay your right shin across the width of the mat, wiggling the knee back. And then you might sit up on your pillow underneath your butt. You might come down onto your pillow, onto your elbows. We're going to be here for 3 minutes as well. So thinking about supports has been really, really relevant to me right now, because I've obviously gone through a pretty traumatic kind of experience of betrayal and loss and grief. And what I did for myself was like invest in a lot of support. A lot of support, because what I've learned in life is that if you don't invest in this kind of well-being, and you don't kind of invest in your self-care when these types of things happen to you, then they kind of live within you until you find a way to process them. And I'm someone that was raised in a super scientific, Western-minded household. Both my parents are scientists, and so we were always kind of believers in Western medicine. And something I have learned a lot throughout my 20s is that, you know, help can come in so many different forms and different ways. And if we are so closed-minded, thinking that one way is the only way or the right way, then we close ourselves off to potential things that could transform us and change our lives. I'll give you an example. I was on my 200-hour yoga teacher training in Mexico when I was 22. And everyone there was like taking their days off to become a Reiki master, doing these Reiki courses. And I just thought it was like the dumbest thing. I was like, you know, Reiki. Everyone knows that there aren't like little chakra balls spinning inside of our bodies. And I believed this for the longest time, that Reiki was kind of useless. And this is a spoiler alert, by the way. I'm now a certified Reiki level 2. So I'm not down talking Reiki. I love Reiki. But I only opened my mind to Reiki when I opened my mind to seeing a psychic. You know, I hit a wall where I was just so low in my life, and I went to see a psychic, and he said to me, you should study Reiki. And practicing daily Reiki just changed my life. Right. And so I don't mean to obviously downplay anything, because I still also take Western medication and see Western doctors. But I just think that if we close ourselves off to certain kinds of support, or think that, you know, we don't need them or it's not for us, we might be pleasantly surprised when we open our minds to it. Yoga, it's like a science of support in a different way, right? It's holistic healing, holistic well-being. And showing up for this is an action of supporting yourself. Can you take one more breath? You're doing amazing. And then come all the way up out of it. And then just give yourself a moment to kind of counter this shape in whatever way makes sense for you. And we're gonna go the opposite way. So we're gonna lay our left shin across the width of the mat. Setting up for pigeon on this side. And I saw Lindsay, by the way, modifying with thread the needle on the other side, which is great. If you have any knee pain, feel free to take another variation. Nice. We're going to be here for 3 minutes as well. So just support yourself in whatever way that you might need. Taking a moment here to think about the people in your life that sustain and support you. Some poses, some situations in life are uncomfortable or hard without support. had this belief for a long time that props were for beginners. And so I didn't want to use them, which is just the most ridiculous thing. Props are for everyone. If you feel like you need support in any yoga pose, don't be afraid to take it. Have a favorite poem by Hafez. It's kind of about support. He says, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. And look what happens. With a love like that, lights the whole sky. Okay, so let's take a few more breaths. And then we're going to roll all the way up. Take your left butt onto the ground, roll your legs around, and let's do one more thing. Just became class of like my favorite poses. Shoulders and hips were the request, so I've just picked my favorite shoulders and hips. So let's come into a cross-legged shape, lifting up through your spine. You're going to drop your right earlobe down towards your right shoulder. Land your right palm on the side of your skull. And just stretch through your traps muscle. And then if you want to lift your left palm to the side and like flick at the wrist, go for it. Good, let's stay there for a few more breaths. And then lift your head all the way up and then just balance your head on both shoulders. And then go the opposite way, dropping your left earlobe down towards your left shoulder, lifting your left palm up. Stretching through your right traps muscle. Just give it 5 more breaths. And then take your head all the way back up through center. Let's recline onto our backs and just do a short little spinal twist before our Shavasana. So you can make your way down. Extend your right leg, pulling your left knee in. And then just draw your left knee over towards the right, opening your left arm like a cactus, gazing over the left shoulder. Then come all the way up through center. And then let's switch the other way. So extend your left leg, right knee into the chest. And then pull your right knee over to the left, open through your right arm, gaze over the right shoulder. And then gently unwind your right knee. Last thing, just place your soles of feet together. Let your knees knock open. Grip opposite elbows. Settle into this butterfly. And then when you're ready, if you want to stay here, by all means, stay here. And if you want to stretch out into a full resting pose, go for it as well. Allow the pose that you take to be a container. To process this practice. To process this experience. And know that I'm going to bring you back in a moment or two when the time is up. I wanna be free, so free, like a feather blowing through the breeze, like a bird in a tree, like a dolphin in the sea. I wanna fly high, so high, like an eagle in the sky. And when my time has come, I will let it all go with a sigh. Pachamama, coming home to that place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to that place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to that place where I belong. Pachamama, coming home to the place where I belong. Give your fingers and toes a wiggle. Stretching fingers through toes. Knees into chest, giving your body a sweet little hug. Thanking yourself for showing up today, because you clearing this space in your schedule and making this a priority is like the #1 way that you are showing yourself support. So acknowledge yourself for that and thank yourself for that. And then just gently make your way up to a seated shape with your palms at your heart center. And we close with an intention. It's an ancient intention, but it's the original intention, passed from heart to heart through thousands of years. And it's that our practice remains steady and our efforts continuous, and our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe and happy and healthy and free, and may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. So let's finish with an inhale and an exhale, and then an inhale through to make your own. So a big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing the space and the practice. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all for joining.